ఈ మిడ్ వైఫ్ అన్న కాన్సెప్ట్ మంత్రసాని అనేవాళ్ళం కదా మన ఇంతకు ముందు గత రోజుల్లో మంత్రసాని. నాకు గుర్తుండి నాకు తెలిసి నేను విన్నది మా అమ్మమ్మ, మా నాన్నమ్మ, మా అమ్మ కూడా, మా పెద్దమ్మలు, చిన్నమ్మలు అందరూ కూడా న్యాచురల్ గానే డెలివరీ చేస్తారు. కరెక్ట్. అంటే నేను అనేది ఒక 40-50 ఏళ్ల క్రితం దట్ వాజ్ ఇన్ వోగ్. దట్ వాజ్ వాట్ ఇట్ వాస్. సెక్షన్స్, సి సెక్షన్స్ అన్నది ఐ డెంట్ నో 40 years back. What has changed over the years, Dr. Vijaya Krishnan? What has actually changed? Why so many sections?
What we put out into society and what the society sees as most common looks like the most normal. So ipudu Telanganala, it's one of the, you know this as a journalist, you will know this, it is one of the in terms of Caesarean section, we top the entire nation, which is sad. And which is what it is. Current statistics tell us that for first time mothers, 76.7 or something like that, which means 8 out of 10 women going into a hospital will land up with a cesarean. So again, when we are talking of a bodily process, and you say that 8 out of 10 women around you, Chuttavalu, your neighbors, your co-workers, everyone has undergone a cesarean, somewhere in your mind it becomes that. Also to your own moms and grandmoms who gave birth normally, they will say, "E generation ka hodu." I don't understand this, but our generation was stronger, this generation is not strong. And even they don't want to give the power to the woman, saying that I did it, you can do it. Ulta say they are also fearful because everybody around them is giving birth like that. So they are saying, I got it, but for them, I don't think so. And why should she suffer? This is the other thing. So there are so many layers surrounding it. Last but not the least, I think the care providers are also under tremendous stress. Now, it is not saying that XYZ hospital or doctor or whatever, it's not. We are all part of a community who are all working towards giving women the best possible chance of having a good optimal outcome, right? So it's not about that, but they are also under tremendous stress because somewhere along the line, all this like really trying to minimize a process that was actually meant to get a maiden into a mom, a rite of passage into something that just needs to be completed as if a project needs to be completed, has already put them under tremendous stress. Plus we have the population, the number of people coming, the number of women. The average OBGYN probably sees about 100 OP in a day. How is it humanly possible to connect with them? Right? And how is it possible to talk to them about what are your fears? How shall we make this go forward? How do we make your lifestyle more healthy in order to make sure that you are able to achieve your goal nicely? Right? To me, that delivery or birth, as we call it, is only a small point in that entire spectrum of 9 months and the 4th trimester, which is 6 weeks beyond, right? But we are only focused on that one point. So we go, we get tests, we get scans, we get vitamins, and we think everything is going to be okay, but we have not prepared ourselves. Right? Then you look at what does social media do? What does the amount of digital input do? I'm so happy I grew up in an era where there was nothing. When you don't have that kind of input, you rely on yourself. You say, how is my body feeling? The average woman who walks in my door and says, how are you, ma'am? I know she's okay. Because she has then said, I feel great. I can ask my care provider how you are, And versus the average woman who is looking at every ache and pain and Googling, pain here, what does it mean? Pain here. So you have made yourself sick in many ways.
ఆ రోజుల్లో వాళ్ళకి డెలివరీలు కూడా 13, 14, 15 ఏళ్ళకే డెలివరీలు అయ్యేవాళ్ళు. ఇప్పుడు మా అమ్మమ్మ షీ డెలివర్డ్ వెన్ షీ వాస్ 14 or 15. మై మామ్ 16. సో ఆ రోజుల్లో అంత చిన్న వయసులో ఉన్న పిల్లలకి వాళ్ళకి ఏం తెలుసు అసలు? వాళ్ళకి ఏమి తెలియకుండానే అంత హ్యాపీ గో లక్కీగా టక డెలివరీ ఎట్లా అయ్యేవాళ్ళు. అక్కడ ఉన్న లోకల్ గా ఇంటి పక్కనే అదే ఊర్లో ఉండే ఒక మంత్రసాని మీద ఎలా డిపెండ్ అయ్యేవాళ్ళు, ఏ భయాలు లేకుండా అసలు ఎలా పిల్లల్ని కనేవాళ్ళు. అండ్ ఈ రోజు ఇంత చదువు ఉండి, ఇంత నాలెడ్జ్ ఉండి, ఎందుకు మనం ఇంత భయపడుతున్నాం?
Exactly. I think this is such a good question. If you have a joint family, okay, generally everybody had joint families, or at least everybody used to stay close to each other. Every woman used to get pregnant almost every 1.5 to 2 years. Again, what are we looking at? Remember the first thing I talked about? It was a very seen event.
Yes.
There was no mystery about it.
అందరూ అక్కడ ఉండేవాళ్ళు.
Exactly. So I will get pregnant. I will get pain. First of all, first 3-4 months they will not even know they are pregnant. Right. Because there was no test. Ipudu 28 days we are looking at the strip and saying, you wake up, you roll out of bed and you say, oh my God, I'm pregnant, so I need to go to the doctor. First of all, they didn't know that much. By the third month, if they had skipped, many of them were breastfeeding for so many years. So then they would get some symptoms, then they would think they are pregnant. And then so basically to them it was, I will get pregnant, I will have pain, I will have a baby. They made it so normal that they would work till the last minute in the home. And Mantrasani was great. See, all of us are sitting here today because some Mantrasani somewhere delivered your grandmom and your great grandmom, right? Now, when I talk about my grandmom, she had my mom when she was 16 as well. She gave birth at home, and the story goes that the Mantrasani came and my mom was coming feet first and she turned her and gave birth. So I don't know how much of that is true, but that's the story. So
అంటే ఎదురుకాళ్ళు బయటకు వస్తే ఏం చేసింది లోపల
or maybe she actually extracted the baby. So whichever way it was, that was the story, right? Many of them never lost babies. They were very skilled with their hands. The only thing was that they did not have the medical knowledge nor the emergency systems in case the birth did not go well, in case the mom had too much bleeding, in case the baby did not breathe. Many of them knew how to breathe the baby. By the way, they never used to clamp and cut the cord until the baby breathed. They knew that the cord was the G of the baby, that it would send oxygen to the baby. So they had the handed down wisdom, but they did not have the medical knowledge and support, which I think when you have a scientific mind, you should understand that when science progresses, it brings with it its good things. So to go back and say, let's birth in a cave, not use the medical, backup systems for safety at all, doesn't make sense. So we use it. But going back to the grandmoms, that's how they gave birth. And who was around them? Their mum was around them, their aunt was around them. They all knew that appudu they have to give something to eat and drink. Vedi vediga idenu tinnali tagali. They would give hot water showers. So anni comfort measures lo, and in a known surrounding.
Correct.
Remember? So the known surrounding lo fear ledu. So again, pain and fear are like two, best friends, unfortunately, right? The more the fear you have, the more you will feel the pain. And the more pain you have, the more fearful you will become. Entasepu, how long to bear it, what is happening to me in our body, and all the questions have come because of social media. So all these things put together, and this generation specifically, there is this huge thought that birth has to be painful. But birth doesn't have to be painful.